What's up, guys? Playing with Karma here, and welcome to another Harry Potter quiz. Today, I decided to do the How Well Do You Know Lord Voldemort quiz. No particular reason, just wanted to celebrate the greatest bad guy of all time, besides maybe Darth Vader and Sauron. First off, if you guys want to listen to me ramble and try to figure out the answer, please feel free just to let the video play. It is 30 questions, so it might be a little bit longer. If you just want to read the question, look at the answers, and try to figure it out yourself, feel free to pause it, skip, do whatever you want. This is just here for you guys to be entertained. Alright, so let's get started. Question 1. From whom does Voldemort take his first and middle names? So, his name is Tom Malvolio, Tom being after his father, and Malvolio being after his grandfather. Malvolio is actually, being named Malvolio and knowing that is actually how he figures out he's related to Slytherin. Question 2. In the Harry Potter books, which character speaks Voldemort's name for the first time? This is actually... I think I know the answer, but yeah, in the Harry Potter books. Okay, it specifies. It's not Ron. Ron doesn't speak it. I'm not sure he ever does. I'll actually have to pay attention to that. Hagrid tells Harry about Voldemort, but he's not the first. The obvious answer is Albus Dumbledore, because he's the only one that really uses the name other than Harry out loud, and Lupin and Black, and actually there's a lot of people that just ignore it. However, I believe the answer is Minerva McGonagall, because when they're sitting on the wall outside of Privet Drive, he says, surely a... Oh, well. Interesting. So I'm thinking, and they're having a conversation, and McGonagall says, you know who. Dumbledore says, Minerva, use the proper name. All this you know who stuff is getting confusing. But I don't know if he says the name at that point. I'm going to go with Minerva McGonagall, because then she does come around and she says, oh, alright. It's incorrect. Is it Dumbledore? Wow, that's super obvious. I way overthought that. Anyway. Question 3. Lord Voldemort killed Gellert Grindelwald. True or false? That is... Lord Voldemort killed... Yes, that is true. He is in Normangard, I think, is the name of the place, in prison, and Voldemort tracks him down to try to find the Elder Wand, and he indeed kills him in the Deathly Hallows. Select all that apply. Which of the following characters was not a Death Eater? Fenrir Greyback, Augustus Rookwood, Narcissa Malfoy, Rodolphus Lestrange, and Severus Snape. Which of these following characters was not a Death Eater? So Fenrir Greyback is not a Death Eater. They allowed him to wear Death Eater robes, but they never give him the title of Death Eater. And Narcissa Malfoy is not a Death Eater. Just the men in her life. And I think that's it. Yes. And I'm pretty sure Lestrange was. Cool. Neat. Question 5. In what year was Lord Voldemort born? Oh my goodness gracious. 1926, 1928, 1927, or 1929? So, I believe I know the answer. He was born on December 31st. I believe 1926, because he was 16 in his 5th year at Hogwarts. And so you can't start until you're already 11. You can't start your first year until you're already 11. So you have to be 15 to start your 5th year, but you can turn 16 throughout it. So I think it's towards the end, because that's when he captures air quotes Hagrid, and he's 16 at that point. So that's the end of his 5th year. So I'm gonna say 1926. It is correct. So yeah, just math, backwards math. And when did Voldemort die? 2nd of May, 1994, the 2nd of May, 2000, the 2nd of May, 1998, or the 2nd of May, 1996. So Harry starts school in 1991 at the age of 11. 7 years later, he fights Lord Voldemort. Well, see, that math doesn't add up. Yes, it does. Yeah. Because he starts in September. And so, yeah. No? Yeah. 2nd of May, 1998. Sorry. Question 7. How many times did Lord Voldemort ask to work at Hogwarts? 3 times, 4 times, once, or twice? I don't know why they went 3 times or 4 times and not 1 time or 2 times. Alright. See, he asks Dippet, the headmaster before Dumbledore, if he can work there. And then he comes back and asks Dumbledore. And I think those are the only 2 times. He asks Dumbledore when he comes and hides the diadem in Hogwarts. So I believe those are the only 2 times. And I am right. Question 8. Where did Voldemort work after leaving Hogwarts? Dervish and Bangs, the 3 Broomsticks, Borgin and Burke's, or the Hog's Head? If you know a lot about Harry Potter, really there's only one on here that would make sense, but it is indeed Borgin and Burke's. They talk about how he's so charismatic that he's easy. He was a good, what's the opposite of a salesman? Buysman. He goes around and offers people money for their trinkets. And it's also a way for him to find historical objects for his Horcruxes, and that's how he finds the locket and the Hufflepuff's cup in Slytherin's locket. Question 9. In Deathly Hallows, Lord Voldemort has a taboo put on his name. What does this mean exactly? Any protective spells on the speaker will stop working. Voldemort can see inside the person's mind. Whoever says his name is trackable. It is impossible to say his name out loud. I believe it is any protective spells on the speaker will stop working, because in the Deathly Hallows, when they use the name, Ron immediately tries to put up the spells that they use as protection around their campsite. So I'm going to say A. It's incorrect. Whoever says the name trackable, well, that doesn't really make sense to me, because even if you're trackable, they still wouldn't be able to get to them because of the repelling charms and the things that make them invisible. They wouldn't be able to see them. So I'm not sure I agree with that. It does kind of make sense because the first 2 Death Eaters follow them into the coffee shop after the wedding. I don't know. They use his name in the coffee shop. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with that, but it's fine. Question 10. Select all that apply. Which special skills and abilities does Voldemort possess? He's a Pottermouth. He's accomplished Legitimens and Occlumens. He's a Metamorph Magus. He is not. He's an Animagus. He's not. He's Pottermouth. Obviously, he can speak to snakes. And he's accomplished Legilimens and Occlumens. One of the lines he constantly uses is, Lord Voldemort always knows if you're lying. And that's because he can read your thoughts. And I believe Snape says in the 5th, Order of the Phoenix, that he's an accomplished Legitimens and Occlumens. Alright, question 11. And what new skills did Voldemort demonstrate in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows? He had mastered wand making, he could fly unaided, he could alter his appearance at will, or he could turn into a snake. This one would have been interesting because he is constantly looking for one that will beat Harry's. So that would have been a good good answer. He can't change his appearance, and he can't turn into a snake, but he can indeed fly unaided. That's one thing I never really understood about the Harry Potter. Like, why would you need to fly unaided when there's so many other things? Why not try to apparate further or something like that? Just because there's so many other ways of transportation, why not try to push the barriers of the current magic with trying to apparate further or something like that? But anyway, that's just me in my thinkings. Question 12. In Slughorn's altered memory, what did Slughorn say to Tom Riddle with his friends? Tom, whatever you do, don't make a Horcrux. You'll go wrong, boy. Mark my words. Choose a better path, Tom, or be careful what you wish for. The answer is B. You'll go wrong, boy. Mark my words. There's really no reason I know that other than just having read it and listened to it quite a few times. I believe it's actually the same in the movie. But yeah, that's what it goes all white, and then you hear Slughorn's voice. That's a heck of an illustration. Anyway, but yeah, his memory goes all white. You hear Slughorn's voice say, "You'll go wrong, boy. Mark my words," and then it goes back to normal. And that's why Dumbledore convinces Harry to try to convince Slughorn to get the real memory. Question 13. What did Voldemort say was the most powerful magical number? 3, 13, 5, or 7? This is the amount of Horcrux he intends, or amount of pieces he intends to split his soul into. This is the amount of Horcrux he ends up making. And this is the number that he asks Slughorn about. And it is indeed 7. He intends to make 6 Horcruxes, but he doesn't count on making Harry a Horcrux as well, so he makes 7 Horcruxes. Maybe that's why he ultimately fails, is because his soul is in 8 pieces, and it's not the most magically powerful number. That's an interesting little tidbit there. Anyway, moving on. Question 14. Select all that apply. Which of the following people did Voldemort personally murder? Mad-Eye Moody, Bertha Jorkins, Dobby, Cedric Diggory, and Gideon Pruitt. Indeed, Mad-Eye Moody, because Mundungus apparates away from the spell. Voldemort knows that it's not Harry and just kills Moody. I'm not sure about Bertha Jorkins. Wormtail might have killed her, so I'm going to come back to that. Dobby, no. Bellatrix throws a knife and stabs him. Cedric Diggory, no, because Wormtail uses his wand, which is a point of annoyance for me, because he uses Cedric's death to make Nagini a Horcrux, which annoys me because he didn't even kill him. Wormtail did. And Gideon Pruitt, I don't believe. I believe that was just a bunch of Death Eaters, him and his brother. So we got Mad-Eye Moody. I have to believe it's more than one. But can he hold? Yeah, he can hold a wand because he's torturing Wormtail at some point. So yeah, those two. I'm going to go with Bertha Jorkins just because I don't think it's just going to be Mad-Eye Moody. And I'm not really sure. I'm going to use those two. Maybe. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think they try to get you with Cedric Diggory in there. But Voldemort indeed does say, "Kill the spare!" And Wormtail kills him with Voldemort's wand. At least in the movie, that's what happens. I'm not sure what wand he kills him with in the books. I don't think it really says. Anyway, question 15. What was Voldemort's blood status? Muggleborn, Squib, Half-Blood, Pureblood. Not Muggleborn, because his mother was a witch, father was a Muggle. Squib is 2 magic parents that make a child without magical powers. Pureblood is 2 magic parents making a magic child. So he is indeed half-blood, 1 Muggle, 1 witch, making a baby. That's a creepy illustration. What happened to Professor Quirrell after Lord Voldemort left his body? He died. Nobody knows. He went to Albania. He went to Azkaban. Didn't go to Azkaban. We don't find out about Azkaban until the Chamber of Secrets. he didn't go to Albania. That's where he met Lord Voldemort. We definitely know because Dumbledore tells us. And so the answer is he died. Voldemort tells Harry that he died and that, quote, I believe, quote, don't quote me on this, but Lord Voldemort shows no more mercy to his followers than he does his enemy, or a little more mercy, I think, is what it is. And that's in regard to him leaving Quirrell to die. 17. Before taking hold of the Elder Wand, what were the characteristics of Voldemort's regular wand? Holly, 11 inches Phoenix Feather. Elm, 12.5 inches Dragon Heartstring. Oh, they make this really easy. Walnut, 12 3/4 inches Dragon Heartstring. Yew, 13.5 inches Phoenix Feather. I definitely knew the wood and the core, and I thought I knew the length. I was off by half an inch, but anyway. Holly, 11 inches Phoenix Feather. That's Harry's wand. And even if you don't know a lot about Harry Potter, you know that they share cores. So just by process of elimination, you can go to the other Phoenix Feather wand. But yeah, I knew it was you. I knew it was Phoenix Feather. I thought it was only 13 inches, but you learn. So, that's the answer. Moving on. Question 18. Why did Voldemort kill Severus Snape? I love these illustrations. I don't know who does it, but keep it up. He believed Snape was the master of the Elder Wand. He thought Snape was more powerful than him. He discovered Snape's loyalty to Dumbledore, or he thought Snape might have been sympathetic to Harry. The answer is A. That is because Voldemort believes that the wand has to be passed through murder and not just disarming. And so, because Snape killed Dumbledore, the last master of the Elder Wand, which is interesting. And I'm going to finish my thought process, then I'll go back. Maybe he just doesn't know. I need to finish my thought process, then I'll go back. He believes Snape was master of the Elder Wand because Snape killed Dumbledore. He believes that it has to be passed on through murder, so he then kills Severus to become the master of the Elder Wand. However, Voldemort is the one that kills Grindelwald. And Grindelwald tells him that Dumbledore took it from him when he won the duel. So, Voldemort must know that it doesn't have to be murder that passes it on. However, he also doesn't know that... he might not know that Malfoy disarms him. So he might just believe that Snape did the whole kit and caboodle and just kills Snape to make a clean job of it. But anyway, sorry for that ramble. Just kind of where my mind went. Question 19. What color was the new hand that Voldemort gave to Wormtail? Gold, bronze, silver, green. Simple answer. It's silver. Don't really know how to put that into words. What were the correct order of ingredients for Voldemort's potion of resurrection? Excuse me. Here's the scene I was talking about earlier where Wormtail actually kills Diggory. Pointing wand, wand there. Pointing wand, wand there. Boom, Avada Kedavra, dead on the ground. Okay, now that we've covered that. Flesh of the servant, blood of the enemy, bone of the father. Blood of the enemy, flesh of the servant, bone of the father. Flesh of the servant, bone of the father, blood of the enemy. Or bone of the father, flesh of the servant, blood of the enemy. The answer is... That's a horrible drum roll. D. And I will explain why I know that. Because, first and foremost, Wormtail ties Harry to the gravestone. Wormstone then cracks the gravestone. The bone of the father unwillingly taken. He then goes to the cauldron, chops off his own hand. Flesh of the servant willingly given. Then goes to Harry with a knife. Cuts a dark mark, at least in the movie, but something in his arm, and takes the blood of the enemy, forcibly taken. And that's why I know that it is indeed D. Okay. Question 21. According to J.K. Rowling, what was Voldemort's Bogart? Albus Dumbledore, Harry Potter, his Muggle father, his own corpse. That's an interesting set of answers here. Because Albus Dumbledore is the only, quote, wizard Voldemort ever feared. But he never really feared him. He just respected his power. Harry Potter doesn't really fear. He tries to kill him 1,000 times. His Muggle father killed him when he was 16. Why would he be afraid of him? But he is afraid of dying. He wants to live forever. He takes multiple steps in order to be able to live forever. So that's what he sees when he sees a Bogart, is his own dead body. Question 22. In which town did Voldemort murder Frank Bryce? Little Hangleton, Upper Hangleton, Lower Hangleton, Great Hangleton. I believe the answer is Little Hangleton. I think that's where the Riddles live, and that's where... Because I'm trying to remember in the Goblet of Fire what it says, but I believe all the commotion in the bar where they're talking about it is in Great Hangleton, and it happened in Little Hangleton, just down the hill or something like that. So I'm going to go with Little Hangleton, and that is correct. Cool. Question 23. A young Tom Riddle took 2 muggles to a cave where they were never quite right afterwards. Who were they? Oh, goodness. Emily Bateman and Darren Bell, Amy Benson and Dennis Bishop, Aaron Butler and David Brown, or Amelia Byers and Daniel Babbage. I wouldn't have known this if I didn't have multiple choice, so thank you, Pottermore, for offering me multiple choice. But there's really no reason I know this, otherwise I just recognize the name. I really can't walk you through it. But it is indeed Amy Benson and Dennis Bishop. Question 24. What was the name of the Muggle orphanage in which Voldemort grew up? Steele's Orphanage, Cotton's Orphanage, Hemp's Orphanage, or Wool's Orphanage? This is actually in the movie too. It's in the steel gates above the. There's an archway made out of steel leading in, and it is above that. But it is indeed Wool's Orphanage. I don't know why it is. We learn that in the 6th one, the Half-Blood Prince, when they're trying to find out as much about Voldemort as they possibly can. Just the Wool's Orphanage. Question 25. We're getting there. Select all that apply. Which of these magical allies did Lord Voldemort recruit during the Wizarding Wars? Oh, geez. Inferi, vampires, giants, dementors, werewolves, or lithofolds. Do you really recruit Inferi if you create them? During the Wizarding Wars. Okay, so he doesn't... I'm going to come back to that. He doesn't use vampires. He does indeed use giants. Big, Grop ends up fighting one at the end of the Deathly Hallows. When we learn about Fudge talking to the Muggle Minister of Magic, he says that the Hurricane was really a giant. Stuff like that. So we know that they're... Oh, goodness gracious, sorry. We know Dementors are because they're natural allies. Werewolves, So we never see them other than Fenrir Greyback, so that's definitely an obvious answer. But we know that he's trying to recruit them. Excuse me. Because Fenrir is over there recruiting them when Lupin is. Lethofolds are not in the Harry Potter books and movies. It's a Pottermore Fantastic Beasts thing. It's actually the only other creature that a Patronus works on. And I'm going to select Inferi just because we know that he uses them in protecting the locket and stuff like that. And we know that he used them, quote, last time. Question 26. In the book Goblet of Fire, what was the first thing Voldemort said when he had risen again? Robe me. How many will be brave enough to return when they feel it? I have returned. It is back. He never says, I have returned. Oh, yeah, he does. He says it to his Death Eaters. Okay. He says all of these things. But which one does he say first? It is back. He says when he refers to Wormtail's mark on his arm. I have returned, he says to his Death Eaters when they all gather around him. How many will be brave enough to return when they feel it? That's what he says when he's about to touch Wormtail's arm, the dark mark, to summon them, or robe me. The answer is indeed robe me. It is the most un-Voldemort thing I've ever heard. Just when he stands up out of the cauldron, he asks Wormtail to robe him. Yeah, I don't. I don't think it's in the movie, but I don't know why Voldemort is, just conjure your robes or ask for your wand but yeah, so I don't know, but that's what he says. Question 27. Which two objects that would later become Horcruxes did Tom secure from Hepzibah Smith? Ravenclaw's diadem and Slytherin's locket, Hufflepuff's cup and Slytherin's locket, Hufflepuff's cup and the diary, Slytherin's locket and the diary. I talked about this earlier when he was working at Borgin and Burke's. It is indeed Hufflepuff's cup and Slytherin's locket. Hepzibah is a descendant of Hufflepuff, and that's how she got it, and she bought the locket from Borgin and Burke's after purchasing it from Merope Gaunt, Voldemort's mother. So, that's how she gets them. Tom then frames the house elf, modifies her memory to make her think that she poisoned Hepzibah, steals the items, and then quits Borgin and Burke and goes to Albania to become dark and snake-like. Select all that apply. When Dumbledore visits Tom Riddle at the orphanage, which stolen objects did Tom have in his box? Goodness gracious, that scroll. A silver thimble, an old football, a tarnished mouth organ, a yo-yo, and a teddy bear. These are actually in the movie too, but he does have a thimble, he does have a tarnished mouth organ, that's just oddly specific, and I believe he does have a yo-yo. I don't think he has an old football or a teddy bear, but I believe those three are it. There might be like some variation, like it might not be silver or something, but I'm going to go with, where's my submit button? Goodness. Okay, cool. Yeah, those are the objects that he pours out. Not gonna lie, it took me like the entirety of that question to figure out who this is, but that's a young Albus Dumbledore in his plum suit and his long auburn hair. That was a weird moment for me. How does Vernon Dursley mistakenly refer to Voldemort? Lord Voldemort, Lord Voldy Thing, Lord Moldymort, Lord Voldeshorts. This is kind of a pattern with Vernon Dursley. Anytime he refers to a wizard thing, and he does it with Dementors too. Actually, he calls them Demembers. I'm pretty sure he calls them he always says like the first half and then thing, like Demembe things. But yeah, it is indeed Lord Voldy Thing. He says that in the let's see, when Dumbledore comes, so that would have been the Half-Blood Prince, when Dumbledore's talking to the Dursleys about Voldemort's return. Alright, last question. Question 30. In the book, Deathly Hallows, what were Lord Voldemort's final words before casting Avada Kedavra? We duel on skill alone. Its power is mind. I can attend to Draco Malfoy, but what does it matter? Wow, I listened to this probably a month ago, and I don't know. I can attend to Draco Malfoy, I know he says, because Potter's talking to him about Malfoy being the true master. But then he goes on to explain that it's him. What does it... I'm going to say its power is mine, because Harry is talking about how the Elder Wand is his prior to them fighting. But yeah, he talks about he kills Snape. Harry says it's his. Oh, it's incorrect. If it's we duel on skill alone, I'm going to kick myself because I was going to click that too. Okay, I can attend to Draco Malfoy, really? Huh. No, but he talks about it. Maybe maybe I missed something. He definitely talks about how he disarms Draco in Malfoy Manor. Maybe that's just Ron and Hermione, though. But dang, that one wasn't terribly hard. I think I got in my head a little bit. Definitely got my head on the first one. The second one I just didn't know, and the third one, I feel like I had a good answer, but you don't win them all. Got a 27 out of 30, scored 90%. Result, you know who. Alright, we are officially terrified of you. Why do you know this much about the Dark Lord? Do you secretly wish he'd won at the end? Stay away from us. I was actually telling somebody the other day that I really want fan fiction of Harry being sorted into Slytherin, but I think I know how that ends. Voldemort kills him anyway. I actually think Voldemort wins in that scenario, and I want fan fiction of Voldemort never going after the Potters, killing the Longbottoms instead, and stuff like that, and stuff like fan fiction of Voldemort increasing in his power and killing the chosen boy, choosing that it'd be Neville. All right, so yeah, there's the results. 90%, not bad. Should have been probably got another one right. I just got in my head too much at the beginning. I should have realized that it's a first couple questions. It's just going to be easy, straightforward. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like button. Please hit that like button. If you have any questions about where I got something, how I got there, please just leave me a comment in the description below. If you enjoy these kind of videos, please hit that subscribe button too. I try to do them once a week, and it'll really let me know that you guys are enjoying these videos, and it'll help the channel grow. I get inspired when I see new subscribers and just want to create more content for you guys. But I think that's it, and look forward to another episode next week. If you have any suggestions about what quiz I do, please leave a comment down in the description below, and I will check that quiz out. But until then, I think I'm just going to continue reading the books, listening to them, and hopefully that will help me. I'm currently on The Prisoner of Azkaban, about probably 60-70% of the way through. So hopefully I can get through. I got some driving to do this weekend, so hopefully I can get through that one and most of the next one before I take the next quiz. But I think that's all I got to say, so I'll see you guys next time.